file for profit. You're going to hear two different things in the financial industry. Your accountant, I'm not going to talk trash about him, but your accountant might tell you to write off as much as you can. Your broker is going to take file profit, because if you're trying to get big money, like once you really reach that max return type of money. So Myles Jackson, been in the commercial financing space for about 2.5 years now, consulting for about 6, and I help small businesses acquire capital.
And I'm Shelton Marchman. I have been doing credit collections for almost 20 years now. Started out debt buying, and I've run the full gamut of all things finance.
So we are here in Florida, and I feel like a very lucky girl because, well, no, I mean, I have both Myles and Shelton who do business lending. I thought getting some tips from you guys for newer, smaller businesses, and we should probably talk a little bit more about mature businesses as well. So let me have you guys both introduce yourselves.
Yeah. So Myles Jackson, been in the commercial financing space for about 2.5 years now, consulting for about 6, and I help small businesses acquire capital.
And I'm Shelton Marchman. I have been doing credit collections for almost 20 years now. Started out debt buying, and I've run the full gamut of all things finance. So I've ended up in the space now to lending and funding because it has just naturally progressed that way. And
so we were talking in our little mini meeting earlier about the 7 tips for a new business and setting up their credit.
Yeah.
So somebody that's brand new and trying to establish their credit, Myles, what advice do you give somebody that's just starting off with a new business?
If somebody is just starting off with a new business and they're looking to build business credit?
Business credit, right. Well, that's the thing is, like, we have a lot of SaaS owners in the high-level community, right? That they're brand new. They're coming in with their own personal money. They're mixing the two of them. Why don't we try to speak to these new startup SaaS companies?
So what I would suggest is to make sure that your personal credit profile is right first. Or else you won't even be able to get access to the business credit side, especially if you haven't started generating revenue yet. So you will need to leverage your personal credit to start. One way that you can do that is you start at nothing. You have nothing reporting to your personal credit, is to get a secured credit card and a secured loan.
yeah, I agree 100%. And also, if you're starting out as a SaaS owner, I think once you start to think about this process, you should automatically go set up the business as whatever corporation or entity you want it to be, but also get your business checking account, because you're going to be a business. You're starting a business. You're going to start getting revenue. Go high level even tells you sign with Stripe. You're already in the payment process. Do it the right way so that you can utilize the revenue you're generating, or not even, because you can write that off at some point when you're doing your expenses. So get the business checking account. Have that out of the way before you even put the first.
So get your LLC.
Go ahead and register with Dun & Bradstreet as well.
Yeah, I did that the first one out.
You want to register with Dun & Bradstreet. That's going to be a reporting agency for the business side.
Yeah, so we could probably put a link in this video later on down below.
DMB, Experian, and NAV are your best business
Okay,
customers.
so Experian,
business, and NAV.
NAV.
Yep, and NAV actually has some products tied to their business lines as well, so they can do business credit news and things like that. So, and Experian one, but NAV is geared more towards helping small businesses to build businesses. Period.
Okay, so we should get a business checking account, your LLC, get your credit card in your business's name, right?
Yeah.
But then we also have to establish lines of credit with businesses that we're working with. So example was Staples. What are some other examples that you give people that you work with?
Sam's Club.
Sam's Club?
Costco. if you have, if you're an existing business and you already have a relationship, you can actually report that trade relationship. So you don't have to necessarily go to a bank. All a trade account is just showing a relationship between you.
And you can have even you as a SaaS owner, if you have clients and your sub-accounts that are paying you monthly, you can literally just write a letter to Experian, NAV, or DMV saying, yes, this business, XYZ, has been paying me this amount of money per month, and I'm one of their creditors, and you would go as creditor on their business account. So it's not the same way as a Visa or MasterCard, for example.
So like HL Pro Tools, which is my support center for my SaaS.
If you wrote to them,
I've been...
if you wrote to them and asked them to just say, just verify that you've been paying them for X amount of months, then you can, even you can submit it. You don't even have to have the company submit it. You can submit and say, I've been paying this as a business, and they'll add to you.
Okay. And then how about our payments with high level then?
Yeah, right. It should be, yeah. I mean, any vendor,
Trade.
yeah, trade. Yeah.
So I would say one thing about business credit to take into account is there will be a lot of regurgitated information on social media that's not quite, I'm not going to say it's not correct, but it's not going to put you in the best position. Some of these lower tier, so a lot of lower tier trade accounts are being pushed, right? And I won't name.
A low tier trade account for a layperson.
Yeah.
I mean, Access Ranger, that's actually becoming one now.
Yeah.
But you can use it, but because so many people are onto Ranger, that now it's one of those ones that people they shy away from. But you can still use it as a smaller business because you can buy options, but it's not looked at the same as like your Staples card,
right? Or as a larger commercial account.
Right.
Like if you're looking to get lending based on your business credit, you need to have good comparables on your business credit report. If you don't, then they're going to have to continue to leverage your personal credit.
How many months in business would a SaaS owner, do you think, before they can get a business loan? Because that's the thing, is to build out everything that we want to do, to hire some automation specialists, to get some VAs working for us. We need some capital to run the ads that we're talking today, right? About running the ads that you're going to do that I filmed for you.
Right. Beautiful ads.
Thank you.
Y'all see soon.
Yeah, because Shelton's going to be next tomorrow. We have to, I have to share.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I would say, for me, the biggest thing is don't worry about it. Is it a line of credit, a credit card, or a loan?
It's access to capital.
It's access to capital. So you can do a credit card, and it serves you the same buying your ad spend as a line of trade because your line of credit from a bank is they're going to give you a card anyway that you can go on Facebook ads and use the same way. But you want to get those lines that will allow you to just pay the invoice. That's really what comes down to. Like, can I pay the invoice from scratch and then go from there? But we were just discussing this. There's so much out there that when we throw a general answer out, or we're asked a general question, there's a million ways to answer. And so knowing the individual situation is it's a lot easier.
So a small SaaS owner that has been in business less than a year and is bringing in between 10 to 20,000 a month, right? So what kind of business loans may I get? Because right now I have quite a bit of money that is sitting on my credit cards, which I don't like that interest rate. And that's the thing. So I moved some of it over to my personal because I have great things that I could get on the personal, which is not the most ideal, but my personal money went into the business first. So it's just.
Yeah. So what I would say to that is get a line of credit. The reason for that is you don't have the financials yet to back a loan, right? They're wanting to see that minimum of 2 years as a data point to show that you can have stability through like a proof of concept for your business.
Right. So then a line of credit, what's the difference between a loan and a line of credit?
A line of credit, you pay as you use, and it's usually like a draw. So as a loan, it's going to be well, I'm not going to say a fixed installment payment, but it'll be an installment payment over a term.
Okay. So I have a couple lines of credit right now.
Yeah.
So, but it was very small. It was like $7,000 if they weren't very big. So
yeah, and those are the best because if you're borrowing $7,000 and you don't use $7,000, you're not paying back $7,000. If you have a fixed end loan, that's $50,000. Your monthly payment is going to be on that $50,000 no matter what. So even if you only use $25,000 of it, you're still responsible for the monthly payment as if you have $50,000 out there. But with the line of credit, you could, if you go 2 years and you only use $1,000 out of $10,000, you're only paying that monthly payment on that $1,000.
Right. And even though a loan is a fixed installment payment, it's not going to be the best for every business. It really depends on what your cash flow looks like. Are you a seasonal business? Do you have a lot of ups and downs? How much do you bring in monthly, and is that consistent? Right. You want to know that you can handle that, which is why they want to have those financials.
right. So like for me, and we were talking about this, I don't think you were there in that conversation, Myles, but I took out a loan against my house initially to get myself up and going because the interest rates were going to be much better.
Yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
Yeah. So how do we now pay that back? Or because the interest rate's so low, take our time paying that? Like, what should be my strategy be with this money? Because I'm growing. I keep growing.
Yeah.
And it's getting there. And my goal is 30,000 by June. So
the easiest way for me to explain it to most SaaS owners and people who do things in a similar manner are you expect a 3x what you're spending on an ad spend, right? So if that's the case, then a 4% loan is much better to be paid down over a long period. And you hold your cash capital in hand as it's coming in. Than you taking this amount and saying, well, I have $78,000 out there. I made $78,000, I'm going to pay right up. Because at that point, you're cash poor, and now it's almost like you're restarting it. But if something happens again, COVID, you need cash on hand.
right.
And so you keep that cash because if your business goes under and you can't pay that loan, then at least you have cash capital to settle out and get rid of the debt. I think we're both in agreement that mitigating the risk versus putting someone in risky loans is not what we want to do. Like ethically, it just
has to make sense.
Yeah,
it has to make sense for your business.
Yeah,
and that's really the importance of getting with a good broker that cares about the long-term success of your business. Making sure you have the right product, make sure you have the right relationships. Right, that's going to make a difference when it comes to long-term fundability.
Okay. So what other advice do you guys have any SaaS owners right now that you guys are dealing with and helping?
Yeah.
Talk about the types of businesses that you guys are helping.
Oh, man. The types of businesses.
Yeah, all over the place. Do we want to know all the businesses?
So this is what I say. When it comes to capital, a question you're going to get asked all the time is, can you give me money? The answer to that is, if you have an EIN, you can give it. Okay. Now, the question you should really ask is it the money that I want? Okay. I would say as far as the type of businesses we work with, I work with government contractors, in construction. I work with roofing companies, flooring companies, work with engineering companies, coaching companies. Like literally, if you have an EIN, there's a solution out there for it.
One of the newest niches I picked up because of what we did last summer is working with MedSlot and telehealth companies, and they're usually started by nurses or doctors who they want to start this, but they're not in business. They're not necessarily business owners, so they don't have the wherewithal to say, "I need to do this." But they are high earners, so they just think that they can just throw money at it and say, "Look, slow down. Let's get the financing in order. You qualify for this stuff already, so let's put it together and then go from there. And then let's work on your actual credit profile and your finances as a whole, because you can make $175,000 just as easily out of $250,000 in debt."
So a light bulb just went off. So now all of these SaaS owners that work with all different kinds of businesses, and same thing. Could be a NASDAQ company that you're working with, could be a med spa that I'm working with, and it could be an energy worker on my SaaS. I run the gamut.
Or just a plumber, a plumbing company, or just a plumbing company.
Yeah.
Not just.
Okay, so now we're talking to them as an agency, and we know for them to really get the leads that they want and explode their businesses, they need to be spending some marketing money. So even the surgeon that has a med spa and he's a surgeon, he hasn't been running any ads. He has working with a consultancy company who's been, knock on wood, very good for me because they're like, check. Oh my God, you already do check. So I would already put a lot in place for them over the last 4 months, but now they're on them to get their ads going. So maybe this is where they get a loan to pay for their ads and they can come to you guys because we're going to drop your links down below. So a SaaS owner that wants to be doing some of these services with these smaller businesses, and the smaller businesses do not think they can do the marketing spends. Maybe if they've been in business more than 2 years, they should probably come and talk with you guys.
Yeah.
So it's not just helping us.
Under 2 years. Yeah. We were both just discussing that, we both have a product that's what we're going to cover tomorrow, that you can put $25,000 in somebody's hand for ad spend. And what it allows them to do is, it's going to, for the agency, it's going to cost.
So $2,500.
$1,000.
$25,000.
They can get a $25,000 line of credit.
Okay.
And then they can utilize that for ad spend. So, as you know, as an agency owner, that what happens is it's still $3,500 a month for you to manage their ads, and then $3,500 a month for ad spend.
Yeah.
A lot of people balk at that $3,500 a month for the manager part because they're like, "How do I do your ads for me?" Okay, well now we have $25,000 in hand. By month 3, both of us have built up enough trust that you're either making them money with the ad spend, and they're happy with it, and they're going to continue. Or at that point, you can call a spade and you part ways, and they've only spent $9,000, but it's on a card that they can still make monthly payments on to get rid of it. So yeah, they're mad, but at least their minimum monthly payments on 2% of what the balance is, as opposed to they outlaid that full $9,000 of capital that they now can't recover or go to another agency and go from there. So when they do have that opportunity to do it, they're a little bit happier, and I think it softens the blow of one man.
And I noticed you had said a loan for ad spend, right?
Yeah.
And so let's say you get,
they're going to grow their business.
Let's say you get $40,000 loan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you're just so happen to be an agency that spends $40,000 a month on ad spend.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you gonna do on month 2?
Hopefully your ad spend was done wisely, because if you're not getting at least that back, your ads fucking suck. I'm sorry. I'm a New Yorker.
No, you're
right. The F-bombs come out.
No, I get that. But but the point to that is, with the loan, once the money's gone, it's gone. With the line of credit, once you pay it back, it's still available throughout the really however long that line is open for. So I spent $40,000 this month on ads. I made 80 back. I paid that back to 40 on the card. Guess what? I got $40,000 I can use again on ad spend or wherever else in my business. Whereas with the loan, I get $40,000 a month, and I made 80 back. And I just have 80 in cash.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the same as being able to reuse a line of credit that is there. So let's say you have a bad month, and you don't make that 40 back in cash. What are you going to do then?
Because you got to wait for the slow months like November and December, when sales are notoriously going to be slower anyway, because after Black Friday, you got Christmas and everything else. So you're going to have slower months than, especially for us in finance, like January is.
Yeah.
So
stock up in like November.
So is that like when you guys take your family vacations then?
Yeah, I mean,
You might as well.
or see my therapist.
Yeah, or just grind it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like,
Or that's the time to double down the work and
It
get your
is.
funnels and everything, all your back end of your business. When
tax
you're
time
having that
comes.
slow time, actually, you know what? I have worked with small businesses as an account manager in the retail space for 30 years. And it was really interesting is my clients, there was differences in the types of personalities of them.
Mhm.
I had some of my clients never, and they were, they were optometrists
Yeah.
and they had staff. And I would say a third of them did not lay off their staff. They kept them employed.
Mm.
They spent money in moving to telehealth.
Right.
They spent money in improving their infrastructure. They spent money in training their staff. They spent money in improving their playbooks.
Right.
All of the things that they were too busy to normally do, they used that COVID time.
Yeah.
And which was great because August of that year was the busiest they had ever been in their entire lives because people still need an eye exam and glasses.
Right.
But it was a pent up demand.
Right.
So thank God that third of businesses that kept their employees, and then we all know about the loans that came out, were really great shape and their businesses exploded.
Right.
Then I had some of the people that were kind of in the middle. They might have kept some staff, but they were, they were closed down. And then I had some businesses, that closed for like almost 2 months. And then even when they did reopen, they locked their doors. They wouldn't let people in without an appointment. And they kind of killed off their businesses. I still don't think some of those people have ever come back.
Right, and
some of them are retired now.
Yeah, and that
because
speaks
of
to the loan versus the line of credit. It's having that like cash capital on hand, but having the flexibility to spend a line of credit. Like if you have $100,000 to pull from this line, and your cash is dwindling, this is kind of like a lifeline that can keep you going versus a loan that you're just paying on it and it's closed ended, so you can't go pull more funds from that.
But I think, going back to that, as small business owners, when you guys have that January and it is notoriously slow for you, I would use that time in two different ways, right? That would be, how am I going to invest in myself to make my business that much stronger when it's going to get busy? And how am I going to invest in my staff and my company? And how am I going to invest in my family and my friends who are going to put up with my ass when I am so busy and I'm working 80 hours a week? Right? And
you know,
them.
Yeah, you know what I say a lot right there too was invest, right? As a broker, but more so as a consultant, the mindset around debt takes a lot from consumer to business owner because debt is leverage on the business side. It's not quite like, oh, I just got a $20,000 credit card, went to Cancun and maxed it out, right? No, it's I got $20,000 in the credit card and I went and made 60, 80K on my ROI.
Okay.
Right. It's a whole different mindset shift, but that is part of the training of why during that first 2 years, they want to see if they can give you a loan or not. Have you changed that mindset or do you have that mindset?
Yeah. So, okay. So how about financial advice? Because the people that are most likely going to watch this are going to probably be other SaaS owners.
Yeah.
And they're just starting out and they do get a credit card with a $30,000 limit on it. They do get a line of credit for $10,000. What are the investments that you recommend for a brand new business or first year or two of a business?
In SaaS, I say ads. It's ads. And make sure you find a reputable company that actually knows what they're doing and they can help you to do it, because your goal as a SaaS entrepreneur is to push your agency forward and do what you need to do and get it done. And if you aren't adept at doing ads, then hire a VA who can do the ads, who can make the ads for you, but make that ad spend great for you so that when your sub accounts come in, you can also bring them in and get them lines of credit as well. And then show them how you spent the ad spend with the lines of credit that you have, and you're teaching them how to build their business with money as well, instead of just taking their money and then being on pins and needles. There's nothing worse than a client or a SaaS entrepreneur who is calling every day because they are down to their last penny because the ad spend is that tight. If they have a line of credit, then they're a little more, you know what, I'm going to trust them. I'm going to let this play out for month 2, 3. And then when they start seeing leads come in, as we know, it's going to take at least 60 days for you to start seeing something coming in for ad spend. When they start seeing that, that trust is reinforced. But when you're down that, if you're, you know, it's $3,000 for me to run your account and 3,000 ads, and then I only have $7,000 in cash. I'm down that last 1,000, and it's 60 days in. I'm losing my shit at that moment. So you're building that trust as a client as well.
So $3,000, so you're looking at about $100 a day.
Right. Which is, it's not a ton of money, but for someone who's down there last.
Yeah. Well, when you're first starting out, that's a lot. I mean, when you're first starting out, you know, $100 for high level is a lot for some people, just with that piece of software. Which that's been interesting to me. Like, I knew coming into this that there was a lot of things that I was going to have to do to invest to build the company that I was going to want to build.
But that's doing the research.
Yeah, that's doing the research. That's the difference in the mindset.
Well, if I was going to leave my big corporate job.
I mean, you have to explain that to your family and everything else. I mean, my wife is a school counselor, so the entrepreneur lifestyle to her is foreign and crazy. Right. It's foreign and crazy. And when I start explaining funnels to her, I can literally watch her face glaze over with, I don't really care about this or know what you're talking about, but I'm listening as a sport.
Nobody's excited about funnel. The funnel doctor.
Right. But the funny part is, like, I learned at a young age as a comic book fan. I saw that phase many times when I started talking about comic books. I'm like, oh, this person really doesn't care about this. I should probably take this conversation this way. Yeah. So now I know exactly. Read the room. Yeah, when my wife has that face, I'm like, I'm talking about this.
But the nice thing is you guys are both small business owners.
Right.
So you understand the people that you do business with because you are in their shoes.
Exactly.
It's funny because we you know, even though we're doing the same thing and we're dealing with the same clients, we're not doing the same thing and we're not dealing with the same clients. So it's not a matter of competition. It's actually like iron sharpening iron because techniques and tricks and different lenders and things, they come and go.
Right.
And you guys can probably help each other.
Yeah.
Anyways. You probably both have tricks. What are some? Right?
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. And it's you know, we speak the same language, so it's like it's easy to.
I was really surprised to have like two of you. I was like,
surprised to see. I was like, oh, he does this for me.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, you guys have a little different, right? I think.
Yeah.
Like, explain the differences. Like, your clients tend to be. You're in Delaware,
right? I'm in Delaware. My top clients tend to be around the Delaware, Maryland, Pennsylvania area. A lot of them are referrals from my relationship with small banks, small business banking.
Yeah.
Guys,
so a lot of brick and mortar.
Brick and mortar businesses that have gone to the traditional bank, and the traditional bank that is my referrer says to me, we can't do anything in this because they don't have X, Y, Z. And I say, all right, well, let me take a look at it. And I find it for them. And because of that, I've gotten referrals more than anything else. And it's easier to do that.
And then how much is it for somebody to work with you to fix their credit and help them navigate all of this?
Yeah, it generally runs about $2,500 for us to do the whole program. It takes about 3 to 6 months for us to get from zero to completion, but there's a process in there to make sure that we're building up the profile along the way so that when I release you back to wild, you can go apply for whatever you need to for your business. I'm not. Yeah,
they're like your little babies. It's like your little turtles. That's what I'm imagining. Is like we're on the beach, right? And they're like gonna go out and swim.
As soon as I let them back out, the first thing they do is they apply for a personal credit card. Yeah. Are you serious? Right? You already know it. Right. You already know it. You understand my frustration? I'm like, why did you? Yeah. Well, I got an offer in the mail. Why would you think that's a good thing right now?
Or mid underwriting inquiry pops up. I'm like, oh yeah, I just wanted to see if I was going to put.
Right.
Oh man.
My friends told me I could lease a car under my name and then put it in my business. I'm sorry. Is your friend working on your file right now? Why would you? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're gonna hire you to help them in this situation, I would be like texting, like, okay, I'm thinking of this. No.
One of my favorite lines to tell people is the 3 people you don't lie to is your doctor, your lawyer, and me. I need to know everything you're doing with your finances. And that's it. That way I'm not surprised by something. I'm not, there's no trick that I can't figure out in here along the way. And we don't have to start like crazy as everyone.
Yeah. And yeah, you definitely got to have that talk. Like my intro before I might even say my name is, look, not the police. I need you to tell me everything. And if you don't, I cannot work. Right.
Just do you ever, but do you ever say no to people?
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Because
even before seeing their credit, like you just know that it's just going to be a hot mess.
I mean, this might be crazy, but almost everybody I talk to, I'm pre-qualifying for the job. Like in a business setting, right? Because
Am I pre-qualified?
You are pre-qualified. You are pre-qualified because if the first thing you would have told me was, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to put this G-Wagon in," right? Oh yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you.
No, I'm in my 7-year-old car.
Right.
And it's one of those.
I love my car. I thought it was like I was safe. Sorry.
Trying to when they come in and they say I need to borrow $150,000. What for? What's your business? I sell this one T-shirt that says, "You suck if you don't like me."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You have a private. You don't have a business. You don't need $150,000 for that because you'll never make $150,000 back on that T-shirt.
Yeah. See, but I'm at the point where I have my infrastructure underneath me. Right. I have my team being built, and I'm at the point. Plus, I have 30 years in an industry that I could probably get a loan to start to run ads and start building out what I've already built for other people.
Now, here's something else to consider. I know we talked a lot about the 2-year data point. Mm-hmm. Now, that can switch when it comes to buying a business, especially if you have that kind of industry experience. 30 years in an industry, if you have the right personal financials, you can go and acquire a business through something like the SBA 7A program.
Okay. Absolutely. So that's something and let's talk about that, like also women and minorities as well. Yeah. So there's business loans, correct? Yeah. Like a couple of people have asked me why I didn't do that. And like,
you should have.
Yeah. Can I still do that?
Yeah, absolutely. At any point in time, it's a long process, but you absolutely can. I would say go to a local bank and start the process because they have a lot of local lenders there who will work with you based on your state.
Okay. Yeah.
But if not,
matter of fact, if you're watching this right now, I challenge you to go build a relationship with your local credit union.
Absolutely.
Go build a relationship with the relationship manager at your local credit union because they're the ones that's really going to give you the bag when it comes to business.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And especially if you're trying, like for SaaS owners, say I do have a client now who's trying to acquire another agency, and he's trying to use a small business loan. It's going to take us about 4 more months to do it because the financial business he's acquiring are all the business that are lost. So the number that they're asking for isn't justified by the numbers that are in the financials. Mm-hmm. So
the recurring revenue is there.
And the sales.
So if somebody
can get the next level as he's trying to do, yes. Yeah. So he's applying for the small business loan. He's also applying for the SBA loan, but SBA, they want a lot more documentation. But
it's going to be a longer process because government back money. But when it comes to when it comes to building out your funding profile, what you should always take into consideration is what industry you are in. Okay. There are going to be high risk industries that you should stay away from. Or there's going to be high risk industries where you need a specific lender, things like cannabis, things like trucking, right? Those are going to be considered high risk industries. You walk into your local bank, they're going to laugh at you and not even probably give you a sucker and you leave. Right. But if you go to a good loan broker that has those connections, we have the lenders that do cash line of credits specifically for the transportation logistics industry. We have funders that do just the cannabis industry or whatever that is for you.
So my main niche is the eyewear industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I deal with optometrists mainly, some ophthalmologists, and sometimes they're just an optician. What advice would you give to them if they were looking to get money to finally run the ads that they have not been running for their local business?
Have Tracy build out your entire program, then come to us when she gives you the invoice, get your line of trade that we can get you, and then be confident that you're going to spend it wisely. Because if they have that money, if you're telling them this is what we need X, Y, Z to do, and this is what's going to cost, and their first inclination is to hand it all about price, if you have the answer for them on how that price can be alleviated, the sale should just go. It's that simple. Because and for any SaaS owner, same thing. You have that product that the only thing stopping the person is the money. Oh, you know what? Here, I got something for you.
Yeah. So and that's the thing is, I think this video is going to be super helpful to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the SaaS owners probably run into what I have seen. Businesses that should be doing some advertising, but they have no budget. This is a crazy thing to me. Over the last year, I'm being this side of it, not the other account manager that I was, is how many people don't do any budget for their marketing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like none.
I say
Like how, and then they're like, I'm so slow.
Right.
I'm so slow.
Yeah.
No fucking shit.
Does anyone know you're
Oh
here?
my God.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I helped a company that they had been building stuff out for a couple of years and then launched, and it was a hot mess, their launch. And I came into it and I was like, what's going on here? And I started asking them marketing questions. And there was like very little, like no pre-planning about their marketing strategy to launch, no money really there. Like,
I think the biggest reason most people don't want to put money into marketing because it's a cost center. It's a sunk cost in their eyes until it's something coming back, but they're not realizing the value of marketing.
Well, I think we're going to go get some steaks.
Yeah. One more tip, file for profit. One tip, file for profit. You're going to hear two different things in the financial industry. Your accountant, I'm not going to talk trash about him, but your accountant might tell you to, write off as much as you can. But your banker, your broker is going to take file profit because if you're trying to get big money, like once you really reach that max return type of money,
you need to.
Well, that's that book, Profit First, right?
You're in business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I knew he did. Like I knew he did not know.
He works at a bank. He works. So he's a W-2. So no matter what, whether he produces loans or not, he's not going. Not. Yeah.
The person you need to talk to is an underwriter.
Yes.
It's not necessarily your banker. Your banker, they're not the one that pushes the button and says yes or no. It's the underwriter.
Yeah.
So if you go to one bank and you get denied, and you go to another one and you get denied, they also might have the same underwriter.
And Myles, where are you located as well?
I'm located out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. So you guys have like the Southeast and the Mid-Atlantic covered.
Yep.
But you guys, do you have specific states that you can work in, or can you work with anyone across the U.S.?
Yeah, I can work nationally.
Yeah, any nationwide across. Yeah. And I do. One of my biggest outreach is to credit unions because credit unions at the end of the year can write off costs. They're a lot more forgiving as far as when you're coming in there with with applications and things. So, I'm actually trying to build this shift of credit union that will allow somebody who's out of their state, who's not in their state, to sign up as a customer. But those are harder to come by, but they are much better. Much more limited and much more trustworthy. But you can walk into the bank and actually talk to the underwriter because they're right at the back, as opposed to your PNC. Think what I'm in around who we are, and so it's a process. But,
so do we have any closing sound bites as the hot tub is being turned on?
Closing sound bites. Don't be scared of debt. If you do get that, get somebody that knows how to manage or can show you if you are not confident in it yourself. No, that is not. It's not something to be scared of. If anything,
it's not a dirty word. Yeah, it's utilize that. Business with it. Don't buy. Don't go on vacation with it. You build your business with that.
Well, and what I'll say, the one last thing is, if you have the opportunity, go and get a line of credit for your business, even if you don't spend it. Right? Don't get $100,000 in credit cards for your business, because when that opportunity comes, you either have the capital or you do not.
You get money. You borrow money when you can, because no one gets to you.
Have it there. Have the access to it.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. I hope we helped some people. Yeah. Okay.
So.
Oh my God, we had so much download today.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
A lot of information. Yeah. I know.
There's still 2 more days.
I know. Your head gonna explode.
Yeah. So I always have notebooks with me, so I can write everything down.